up, Dallas Cowboys fans? What's up, Cowboy Nation? Back again with just a quick recap, word news coming out of OTAs for your Dallas Cowboys. Today is May 30th, so I believe camp picks back up for a couple of days. Just so anything, like I said, if there's a lot going on, like I said, a few new faces on the team, so it's a lot to kind of get excited about. Just in this quick off-season program, I guess. Before we get started, as always, go ahead and please subscribe, share, and also definitely like, so we can get other like-minded fans from the Metroplex to this channel, so they can also see the same content. So I appreciate you guys as always, and let's roll. First things first, Tony Pollard is back doing light work. Of course, this coaching staff is not going to be too aggressive with his rehab and return, because what's the point? We're so early on, still somewhat in the offseason. You don't even want to risk damaging these things way worse than they are. But then apparently he's been working with the first team and walkthrough, so that's a good sign. Just you want to see a guy like Tony Pollard out there as early as he can be, because like I said, you don't want one of these things becoming lingering injuries, and now you're worried about it getting closer to preseason and training camp and all that stuff. And we already know how that goes, especially now we don't have an Ezekiel Elliott on this team. So it's going to be big on what Tony Pollard can bring to this team, and that starts with staying healthy for sure, because once you get off of a Tony Pollard, there's a whole lot of uncertainty behind him. We're not really even sure who's going to be the next man up, because again, with this coaching staff, we're talking about Mike McCarthy, and now he's going to be the one predominantly calling the plays with help from a Brian Schottenheimer now with the team. We're going to, I really believe we're going to see Tony Pollard be used more than just your hand it off right up the middle or even outside back. I think he's going to be used more in the passing game. So we want to get him as healthy as he can be as soon as possible. So that's a good sign. Also, speaking of the running back room, we're talking about Deuce Vaughn. Mike, I think I've said this couple weeks ago. Mike McCarthy already said he's wanted to use Deuce Vaughn in kind of like the same way that a young Randall Cobb was with the Packers. He's kind of either had him in the backfield, you had him out there receiver, and apparently they've been moving him around. He has been getting a lot of pass catching opportunities. So I believe Deuce Vaughn is going to have to be a vital part of this offense in some capacity, because like I said, once you get behind the Tony Pollard, there's a lot of uncertainty on who's the next man up. Is it Deuce Vaughn? Is it Malik Davis? Is it a Ronald Jones? Is it somebody that's not even on the team yet? Or right now at least. So we have no idea. But I really believe with a Brian Schottenheimer and a Mike McCarthy, they're going to focus more on the run game this year. And Deuce Vaughn is going to be a huge part of that. And like I said, I believe he has the ability to be a pass catcher. He has the ability to move around a little bit more also. So we will see. But that's a good start. Good early signs from the running back room. We already know what Kevontae Turpin can bring potentially as a returner. He had a few big plays last year. I mean, whatever that means, whether you're a fan, whether you're not a fan, whatever. Last year, I personally wanted to see him used more in the offense as even more as a chess piece. Kind of use him here, kind of like a playmaker, an extra playmaker to throw the defense off a little bit, keep them on their heels. But of course, that didn't really come into fruition. We didn't do too much of that last year. But apparently, early now in OTA work, Kevontae Turpin's being moved around on the offense, a little bit in the backfield, a little bit in the receiving group. So whatever that means, we'll see if that actually sticks the closer we get to training camp and things like that. But that's a good start. So I'm not against that at all. And also, Michael Gallup apparently has been looking very, very crisp, very agile. And we just know, of course, you're talking about now the second season being off from an ACL injury. Hopefully, this is where we finally get to see a little bit of that old Michael Gallup we got to see in 2019, something like that. So I'm like, it's been a few years since he's been able to be full strength. But if we can have Michael Gallup to come in here and get back to even, I can say 90% of what he was originally, that is going to do wonders for this offense, because now you're not expecting Michael Gallup to be your number two. Brandon Cooks is going to be your number two. Michael Gallup can be either your wide receiver 3 or your 2B. But we're not going to count on him fully to be that next man up, especially now if we're able to just get more of the other guys involved. Now you're talking about, of course, we know what CeeDee Lamb is going to bring to us, but if we can see what Jake Ferguson has, we see what the rookie Luke Shoemaker can bring for us. If we can see what a Peyton Hendershot is just in the receiving game, there are lots of guys that can contribute in the passing game. So as a receiver, or tight end. We just have to be able to get these guys back and healthy. So if Michael Gallup can even get remotely back to what he was originally, we are playing with fire now. Former Defensive Player of the Year and new veteran on the team, Stephon Gilmore, is being used all over the field. They have him matching up with CeeDee. They have him matching up with Brandon Cooks, with Michael Gallup. Just giving different eyes and different looks, I guess, for this defense position, especially for him. And playing that outside cornerback position opposite of Trayvon Diggs. We already know what Trayvon Diggs can get you, but apparently he has not looked bad at all. Stephon Gilmore, he's having pass breakups. Of course, we're talking about with no pads, nothing like that, no real physicality, but you do want these guys to go out there and get their muscles loose. You want to see them see what they have just athletically, because now we're talking early in the offseason. This is where a lot of these guys are now. You're coming back off your vacations. You're about to hit it full speed for the rest of the offseason. Now you're starting to warm up, get those training routines back in. So if you have a Stephon Gilmore out there just getting nice, good reps in against some of these guys that he's going to be able to, I guess, it's even compete with throughout the entire season as teammates with the Brandon Cooks, a CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. You like I said, you can't ever have too many weapons on either side of the ball. Especially you want iron to sharpen iron. So guys with that level ability competing against each other and making plays, that is a big sign. I love to see it. Especially you have a guy like Deron Bland also still getting nickel work. We know Jordan Lewis could possibly be coming back this year to help us out. So I'm wondering if Deron Bland could get some looks on the outside too, because we know he can help us tenfold as a nickel corner. He did amazing last year as a rookie, but like I said, if my thing is, you just never know. Injuries and things pop up. You just want to have as many guys as tested as that at many different positions as they can, because you can't beat versatility at all. That's going to help you in the long run. We're talking about teams trying to go on long playoff postseason runs. You need as many guys that can move around as possible. And that adds on to hearing about Kelvin Joseph. He's apparently being used with in the safety, the safety position a little bit. But to me, that takes it more to, does that mean he's halfway out the door? That's 1 foot out the door? Because to me, that could read, hey, you know what? Maybe the coaches saw something else in him that maybe he can help out a little bit over here too. And we're talking about guys. That's why you have special teams coaches. That's why you have other DBs coaches. You know what? This guy didn't really work too well in the cornerback spot, but maybe he has something that can help us in the safety position, because of course you can't have too much depth. And we're talking about a hooker, we're talking about a Donovan Wilson, a Jaron Kearse, things like that. You can't have too much depth at that position, especially someone that can just come in and be solid. That also takes me to on the flip side, is that the coaching staff, like I said, also thinking maybe 1 foot is out the door on this kid. We're just trying to kick any tire to see what potential he might possibly have left in him. We never know, but to me, it's always exciting, because there's so much. Everything pretty much at this time of year in the offseason is rumors. It's hoping guys will do this. If you see somebody playing one position, is it actually going to be something they're going to stick with? We'll see. But like I said, it's definitely exciting, because this is pretty much the guy. These are pretty much to say these are mostly the guys that you're going to be rolling into next season with. So as many different looks as we can get for these guys, I'm all for it. Tyron Smith and the Terrence Steele dynamic is something to watch fully this offseason period, because the coaching staff, especially Mike McCarthy, came out and said it himself. Also, the best 5 O-linemen are going to be your starters, period. So whatever that combination is, that's going to be your starting. So and my thing is, we already know what Zach Martin is. Like that's reliable. You don't have to worry about that position. That's somewhere you can trust and expect him to be where he needs to be. Now, we're talking about second-year Tyler Smith. I am just never a fan of bouncing a guy around and moving him here and moving him there. Especially a young kid, because you want him to get comfortable with whatever position he's going to be. If you want him to be your left tackle, make him your left tackle, but you can't keep bouncing him around. If you're going to be your left guard, keep him at guard, because that way he's going to be able to get his footing in. And now when you you're in the league long enough, you start figuring things out, you see things. Now you can start having position versatility. You can move around here and there. But a young kid, especially, if you think he can be your future left tackle, that's why word is that he's already running with your first team right now. Now, is this where you're trying to just get Tyron Smith warmed up, or Terrence Steele warmed up back in the mix? We don't know. But as of right now, Tyler Smith is running first team all left tackle. So We know who, like I said, we know where he is. We know where Zach Martin is. Tyler Biadasz is your center. He had a nice, solid season last year. I think he ended up being a Pro Bowler. But we have to get that left guard position filled because we saw all the movement last year, and it didn't tear us down the way it could have, but it wasn't solid enough throughout the entire season that you could just trust it. And we bring in a couple guys, but there's nobody that you literally can just stamp and say, this is where our starting five is. So that the O-line battles are going to be very, very entertaining. And whether that's good or bad, but they're going to be entertaining because now at least we're going to be able to watch this team round out. Going into it also, Micah Parsons, if you're even on social media a little bit, you'll be able to see he's been moving around since I guess our season ended. He's been moving around a lot. And he's at OTAs working out with DeMarcus Ware, getting a few extra tips, getting a few extra moves in his back pocket. And you can never have too much of your best players still always trying to learn, because that's a domino effect. Everybody can do nothing but feed off of that also. We're talking about guys with maybe not as much ability as a Micah Parsons. If he's still trying to eat and learn and figure out what he can add to his game, everyone else should be able to do the same. So I'd love to see it. It's going to be interesting because we know Micah Parsons is one of these years, if he's able to get everything rolling and the team can have the same success, he has Defensive Player of the Year awards just waiting for him. So I'm excited to see him keep working, keep growing, keep getting bigger. Especially, we're still not sure, is Micah Parsons going to be a full-time DN? He's going to be a full-time, well, we know he's not going to be a full-time linebacker because he is too dangerous as a pass rusher, but is he going to be used a little bit more in the linebacker position this year? We'll see. He said that he wants to be a full-time DN. He wanted to bulk up. Dan Quinn came out and said he's pretty much making the decisions on that. So that's don't listen to what Micah's saying fully yet, but we'll see. That there's always gonna be something to talk about. But Micah Parsons is definitely one of your, barring injuries, and we're knocking on wood, but like I said, that's pretty much with the team in general. You want everybody to be healthy. But if you have a guy like Micah Parsons out there on the field, you know he can cause damage. So I'm excited. We'll see. Last thing for me, I will say, it can be a small thing, a simple thing, but what just got me the most excited, it's just something that we as Cowboys fans have been asking for a while. Just give us a system that is going to be consistent and not changing week to week. And I'm not talking about not making adjustments based on the team that you're playing, but I'm talking about where we'll have success being a running team one week, and we'll come out and we'll have a little success, and all of a sudden we'll just go pass happy, or we'll be having a solid game just passing, and all of a sudden we'll choose to run it at the worst times. It's never a coherent system that just free flows. And we've already said that's what this West Coast offense is that Brian Schottenheimer and Mike McCarthy are trying to install now. Is going to be less thinking, more just playing off instincts. As quick as you can get out, quick passes, quick runs. We're trying to just get everyone down the field as fast as we can without having to think. That way, you're just using your athletic ability, not too much thought process. I love it. That's what I'm loving the most. And Dak Prescott came out and said, walking off the field, prior to the last day of OTAs before today, Dak Prescott says Mike McCarthy essentially tells him, what you did like in the playbook that we ran, that we put in, what you don't like, let me know. We're going to take out the stuff you don't like or you're iffy about. We're going to keep all the stuff you feel very good about. To me, that is what a real offensive system should be for your quarterback. You build your offense around your quarterback because that's the guy touching the ball every single play. And I feel like if you get a Mike McCarthy and a Dak Prescott together on one page, not having a Kellen Moore having his own thoughts or whoever else, you just need your play caller and your quarterback to be on the exact same page. Your system fits what he does. He fits what you're looking for, and we can get rolling. That's exciting to me. It could be small. It could be nothing. Like I said, most of this stuff is just what we're waiting to see if it'll actually stick in the long run. But I'm excited to hear that because we have got to get back to the basics. We've got to keep it simple. And I feel like if we can get Dak Prescott just in, I guess, and I want to say in a system where he can just be comfortable being not necessarily even a bus driver, more than a bus driver, but if we can just get him comfortable to where he's not having to think way too many. You don't have to go through 6 progressions on every single play. Cut that down to 3 or 4. We're going to be free flowing. The offense is going to move much quicker. It's going to be more efficient, and I'm excited for it. We're all in for a little bit of a wait until training camp, obviously, but being this is with no pads, it's not at a super fast pace. You're not trying to get anybody hurt or anything out there. So you're just trying to get people, I guess, get guys warm, especially getting your new veterans like a Stephon Gilmore, Brandon Cooks, and get the rookies in here. You want to get these guys acclimated to the system and just more comfortable with the playbook. You're not really trying to get anybody to come out here going 100%, but you want these guys to start using their brains, being able, so that way, when the closer we get to the regular season, preseason, I say, will pretty much have the playbook down, and you're that way you're able to literally just be an athlete, play off your instincts. And that's especially when you have a guy like Stephon Gilmore, Brandon Cooks. You want them to just go out there and play. They're not having to think. Let them use that veteran, the things that they've learned throughout the years. And I feel like now, of course, this is OTAs. Like I said, it's so early on, somewhat in the offseason. Any big news, little news, we're all have our ears and eyes open for everything right now. So it's going to be something. I feel like it all sums up to, I feel like we're just actually building a team now. We're actually building a team. Of course, it'll be up and down. It'll be some happy times, some bad times. Sometimes I'm mad. Sometimes everybody's mad as fans, but we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I feel like we're actually just building something, an actual team this year, and hopefully it all pans out. We'll see. As always, I appreciate you guys. Like I said, I think today is May 30th, so OTAs will kick back up starting today, and I think also on June 1st and June 2nd. So there should be a few more things to put out. Just like always, I appreciate you guys. Go ahead and comment down below. Let me know, let the rest of the Cowboys fans know around who you're excited to see going into next season. Is it one of the veterans? Is it one of the new veterans? Is it a rookie? Is it an undrafted guy? Let me know. Let all of us know. Like I said, I appreciate you guys. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and share. Go ahead and like. Especially, like I said, get those algorithms up so we can get other Cowboys fans around to get the content. I appreciate you guys. Keep it rolling and go Cowboys.